This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to our February edition of PJC Today. Here today we'll look at exciting partnerships which maximize educational opportunities here in Northwest Florida. And with us are representatives of Milton Gators, a University of Florida branch that is in Milton and is putting PJC grads into stable jobs without ever having to leave home. Today we welcome Kat Campbell, who is the Academic Program Coordinator for the University of Florida Milton campus. Kat, tell us all about the University of Florida Milton.
Well, thank you so much for asking. It's a pleasure to be here today. The University of Florida Milton has been here since 1995. We have over 160 graduates nationwide from Alaska to New York. And we really pride ourselves on students being able to utilize the education they learn in the classroom and then take that and practice it in the field.
That is really good to know. So you've been around a while. You're kind of a best kept secret.
Well, yes, yes. I like to call us the best hidden jewel of Milton. We have a beautiful 2-acre botanical garden that is used for an outdoor classroom. It's a public garden, open dawn to dusk. So anyone is welcome to tour this garden. And this is also one of our outdoor classrooms for our horticulture students. And then in the back of the property of UF-PJC, we have a white-tipped, federally endangered white-top pitcher plant bog that is used for an outdoor lab for our natural resource conservation students. So we just have a very unique campus. And yes, like you said, it is one of the best well-kept secrets.
And it's open to the public.
Absolutely open to the public. We have two sets of 18 disc golf holes on each side of the property, nature trails all in between them. Every day it's open dawn to dusk to the public.
Now I understand, Kat, that you can actually, a person here in our area can actually attend PJC Milton, graduate from the University of Florida with a University of Florida degree in certain program areas. Tell us how that happens. How do you do that?
That's a great question. Well, usually our students do start out at PJC, and you'll meet two of these in the future. They both started out at PJC, and Pensacola Junior College has been so kind to us that they have formulated 2 Associates of Arts programs that incorporate every single prereq that our students have to take to enter the University of Florida in Milton as a junior. And so they're called the Environmental Horticulture AA and the Tree AA. And the Tree AA segues into natural resource conservation, and the Environmental Horticulture AA segues into the golf and sports turf management or the landscape and nursery horticulture department. So if a student follows those AAs correctly, they can seamlessly transfer into the University of Florida Milton campus with all the right prereqs.
So at the beginning, when they talk to their academic advisor, what they would ask would be how to get into the program, what courses do they need to take in order to be certified and articulate directly into the University of Florida program at Milton.
Absolutely, and there's scholarship money located in both of those AA programs at PJC. So many of our students are able to reap benefits from that scholarship money just because they're in that AA program. So it's a great benefit for those students to be in that Associates of Arts program.
Tell us about the scholarships. Everyone's going to want to know, so we might as well talk about that.
We are so fortunate at the University of Florida. Not only are our students applicable for every single scholarship that main campus students are applicable for, but we also have wonderful donors around the area, whether it's Friends of the Garden that maintain our botanical garden, or whether it's master gardeners, whether it's some in South Alabama tuition, some waivers for them. Also a natural resource conservation scholarship that sponsors anyone that's from 3 different South Alabama regions, and it's full paid ride through the NRC. the
South
NRC
Alabama.
degree program.
Really?
And like PJC, we offer in-state to the 18 local surrounding counties of Alabama. So if you're a South Alabama resident and you would like to be a UF Gator, please call.
Okay, and we're going to get into the numbers that they should call in just a few minutes.
Great.
Let's talk a little bit more about the outdoor careers that someone going through these programs, getting this degree,
Yes, ma'am.
could actually expect to work in.
Well, for instance, we were just discussing this earlier. I am a horticulture student, and so far I've had 8 careers with this degree, and I've not even done yet. So I've been a research technician. I have been in communications. I've been a landscape designer. I've also been a landscape installer. I've designed hummingbirds and butterfly gardens just as a student, and I'm not even done yet. So, and once our students graduate, let's say in the landscape and nursery program, we have students that are perennial growers of really large plant franchise corporations that oversee all the perennial growing for these. And these are huge plant distribution centers. So massive amounts of responsibilities, but they're equipped with the tools. Then we have other students who love to work outside. They want to work botanical gardens. They want to maintain those at all times. Then we have other students, like for instance, the one that you'll meet soon, who has gone into extension. So she's quote unquote a plant doctor. Anything that's going on with your plants, you can call her, give them the symptoms, take a picture, and then she comes out and has to help you diagnose what's going on with your plants.
So now, is this an attraction, working outdoors for many students?
Absolutely.
So someone who loves the outdoors, who really wants to be out in the outdoors, can actually get paid to grow plants.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Or manage an athletic field with the Golf and Sports Turf Management Program, or be a superintendent of a golf course. Just imagine yourself surrounded by the most beautiful environments that you've ever imagined, and that's what this degree can get for you. Also, when you look into our natural resource conservation program, our graduates are working in all different kinds of ecosystems. So we're talking wetlands to longleaf pine forest to dune restorations. And although their knowledge is heavily set in Florida floriculture and fauna and flora, you can also take all of those skills and education to any other state you'd like and apply those same principles. So it's a very great degree if you don't have any roots holding you down. And what I tell our students is if you can fly after you graduate, the opportunities are endless.
that is wonderful to know.
It
And what
is.
about the income potential?
The income potential, well, it varies from major to major and also varies from location to location. And I tell all of our students this, that if they are homebound, that they will be competing with other people for jobs. If they can fly, the University of Florida opens doors that you could never imagine. But around the area, there are some very competitive jobs and careers within our majors that our students have been very successful in. So the market is not diluted yet, and there's still opportunities for students who would like to remain in this area.
Well, how would you describe the quality of education and the class size
Oh,
and those
goodness.
kind of particulars?
That's one of my very favorite topics. I attended Mississippi State University for a while, and I remember my very first botany class. We had almost 100 in the classroom. And so in order for me to get any attention to ask a question whatsoever, I had to pretty much jump up and down to get them to see my hand or to even acknowledge me. We have a 1 to 15 student to teacher ratio at the University of Florida Milton. And that is truly priceless because these professors chose to teach on the Milton campus. They were hired by Gainesville. They're Gainesville quality instructors, held by the same standards that all instructors are on main campus. But we are so fortunate to have them here in Milton. So you're receiving this 1 to 15 student to teacher ratio with a University of Florida professor. And this creates kind of a mentorship environment. So by the time that you graduate from our program, not only does our professor know your name and passion, but they know which area that you need to segue in as far as job and networking and different things like that. So
Well,
we get to know our students very personally.
That is so wonderful to know. What about the scheduling of the classes? So many of our students maybe work part-time or full-time or during the day. Is that something that's workable around a schedule?
Absolutely. All of our classes are conveniently scheduled in the late afternoon to evening hours. And this is because most of our students, well, we're receiving more and more of the quote-unquote not non-traditional students who are straight out of high school, straight out of PJC, but even our non-traditional students are working full-time in the day and maybe can only attend classes in the evening hours. And so this schedule just works out really well for them. Now we're growing at such a rapid pace that I would love to say that probably within 2 years we may be offering classes in the day hours also.
That's wonderful to know.
Yes.
And as far as master's programs, it's bachelors, and then are master's programs being offered as well?
Yes, our 3 bachelor programs, as I mentioned before, landscape and nursery horticulture, which was formerly known as environmental horticulture, for those who know it as that, golf and sports turf management, which is our turf science, and then natural resource conservation are our 3 undergraduate programs. And then we have 2 master programs. We have one that's completely online, thesis or non-thesis for soil and water science. And then
Completely
the second
online.
Completely online. And then the second one is ecosystem restoration, and they're just revamping this one. And so for more details, definitely get in touch with me about that. For the soils, that's already launched and doing wonderful. And also our University of Florida professors co-chair sit on the boards for graduate students on main campus. So you can be a graduate student on main campus and have our professors as on your board and come do your research in Milton, whether it's in the dunes, whether it's on Eglin Air Force Base for vegetation monitoring, and do some of your classwork during the summer, whether it's distance or in person in graduate level, and graduate from the University of Florida Milton campus with your master's.
And right here in our own backyard.
Right
What a
here.
great resource for area students.
Absolutely.
Now let's take a look at this exciting program, and when we get back, we'll meet with current and former Milton Gators.
The Milton Gardens, it's a teaching garden. The garden is sponsored financially by the Friends of the Garden, and then the UF employees volunteer our time. On Mondays, we try to do it 1 day a week. The garden, I think, is between 10 and 15 acres, and then we share one building with PJC, and we have one to ourselves. But we do constantly add on. We've had the formal garden, the vine garden, the perennial garden for years, and now we've added a shade garden. So we've cleared a large area. And the children's garden we've recently redone with an area for all the senses. You know, we have a tasting garden, we have one that's scented. We're going to add some playground equipment, hopefully like a caterpillar that they can go through, because we have a butterfly garden there. So that's new. There's a maze in there for the kids to go through that's been there for years that people don't really know about. So we're hoping people find out more and more about it. Every semester we usually have a couple interns that come handle one of the projects and write the report, and you know, they get credit for that as an internship. You get your 2-year degree at PJC, and then you can come to UF and follow up and get a 2-year degree in forestry or environmental horticulture or turf management. That's our northern campus on J. So there's 3 programs that they can transfer over and then end up with a full 4-year degree.
Next, we'll hear what a resource area students have for this Milton campus, and we're going to hear from 2 students who have lived it. And we want to welcome now Chelsie Miller and Theresa Friday.
Hi.
Chelsie, as a current student, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Why did you choose this as your career or your program of study?
Well, the program itself, I've always wanted to make a difference, and I love the outdoors. I've always been an enthusiast, and when you put 2 and 2 together, this was the perfect program. It really was.
Yes. How did you come to find out about it?
Well, actually, when I was in high school, I knew I loved plants, so I took a botany class. And Miss Friday actually had a program there, and I learned different planting techniques from her, and then they said, well, we also offer a natural research program in Milton, and you can get your University of Florida classes done there. And I was all for it.
That is wonderful to know. So do you like your classes? I'm assuming you do because of your enthusiasm.
I do.
And since you've both been there, done that, what advice do you have for our viewers who are interested in getting a degree from the University of Florida? Did your PJC classes prepare you well enough, and what did you take?
Yes. Now, University of Florida, it doesn't hurt to meet them right away, even if you haven't started PJC yet, because there's a class list of things you have to take. But I actually had a wonderful time starting at PJC. The teachers were very broad-minded, the topics were great, and I felt so prepared when I hit University of Florida. It was really a relief.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you foresee in your future going from here?
I really would like to do something federal government, doing conservation projects. Hopefully, though, as I progress with the University of Florida classes, I'll know exactly what I'd like to do and what really hits my bone.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now, Theresa, tell us your experiences working with students, and you're a guest speaker. There are events, and the tuition, and all of those things.
Well, I kind of stumbled on to the University of Florida mid-career. I was in hospital administration for a while and decided that was a little too stressful, and was looking for something to go back to, and I just happened to luck up on hitting the University of Florida Milton campus and went back to school for a degree in horticulture and loved it. And fortunately was able to continue with the University of Florida in an extension position. And I have the opportunity to do wonderful things throughout the community. And one of them is talking with young people about horticulture and other natural resources.
Well, see, and it's paid great dividends for Chelsie already, and so many students like her. About how many are in the program?
There are currently about 30 undergraduate and 8 graduate students.
That's wonderful. Now, economically, what are the benefits of the PJC University of Florida track? I mean, it might be obvious, but beyond that, I believe there's a tuition that's a little bit lower than if you attend here.
Well, as far as the economic benefit, in Santa Rosa County, horticulture is about a $12 million industry for us. And within Florida, of course, that is significantly more. It's in the billions of dollars, especially in Central and South Florida with the citrus industry. Those types of industries need good people, and certainly the University of Florida prepares students to enter into those careers in multi-million-dollar industries.
What the knowledge that you gained, how are you putting that to work every day?
Well, I became a teacher. As an extension agent, I have a couple of different roles. One of them is to help people with their Florida-friendly landscape, trying to make Florida a better place environmentally. But another is to teach, and that's basically I go out and teach young people and older people. I teach volunteers, I speak to groups, so I have an opportunity to really talk to a lot of people and influence their decisions as far as their landscapes are concerned.
Now, if someone out there would like to just sample, come and see what it's all about and just kind of check it out, how would you advise them to proceed?
Well, there's all sorts of opportunities. Certainly contacting Kat at the West Florida Research and Education Center is a great way to get started. If you just kind of want to know something about the university, certainly contacting your extension office and talking with them about any of the issues that you have in your landscapes, and also a great way to contact us.
Well, Chelsie, what would you tell a student considering this program?
If you are seriously considering this program, it's fantastic. And the moment I stepped onto University of Florida campus, I felt home. It's the students themselves are wonderful. They invite you into their lives. They tell you what they're doing, what classes they didn't like, what classes they liked. And really, on an economic standpoint, I, with Bright Futures involved, did not pay 1 cent for my AA for going to PJC, and now it's applied to my University of Florida, and really just hand in hand they went right together. They really did.
That's exciting to know. and all of these wonderful careers, and so we're reaching out to students of the future. And how do we go about doing that? We send Kat to recruit them, and what other ways?
Well, we University of Florida, West Florida Research and Education Center, as well as the Extension Service, has all sorts of events throughout the year that the public's more than welcome to attend. And starts with a big bang in April at the Emerald Coast Flower Show, and there's turf grass field days, there's natural resource field days, there's extension field days. So we're very fortunate to have the Research Center in our area. They bring quite a bit of opportunity to the public here.
What else do people need to know about this?
It's just a great opportunity to get a Gainesville education in your own backyard, and certainly I have benefited from that, and I certainly would encourage anyone that has any interest in going back to school or looking at the University of Florida to definitely look in your own backyard first.
Well, and to clarify, someone can actually attend PJC Milton and the University of Florida offices, campus on the Milton campus. Without ever leaving, they can get a degree from the University of Florida in these particular programs.
I actually got my master's degree that way also.
Did you?
From the University of Florida through the Milton campus. So it was very, very convenient for me, and probably would not have gotten that degree without that opportunity.
Well, Chelsie, Theresa, thank you so very much for sharing all this great information and taking time out to tell our viewers what a wonderful program this is. Now we're going to take a look at another unique partnership, this one between the University of West Florida and PJC, and this is where future teachers can get some of their requirements in a state-of-the-art observation room. This, as well as an updated PJC Adult High, is all a tribute to longtime Santa Rosa educators Raymond B and Leila Hobbs. Now let's take a look.
We have gathered before this building, which stands as a legacy to the lives of two very special teachers and educational professionals, Raymond B and Leila Hobbs. The gift of a good teacher is without measure, and the value of a good teacher cannot be measured in dollars. But the funds donated to create the Hobbs Center for Teaching Excellence will enhance the time spent in this facility for faculty and student teachers alike, and will certainly enrich the experience of our students. It is therefore with much gratitude that Pensacola Junior College acknowledges the gift of $1 million from a representative of the Hobbs family estate, which has created this everlasting memorial to the Hobbs family.
As a granddaughter of this wonderful couple, I remember them as two loving and caring people that taught me that whatever I wanted to do in life, I could do with a little work, and that education was the key to getting there. And when I heard about what they wanted to do with this building, I knew that this was something that they would have appreciated and would have wanted to be a part of.
The Hobbs Center provides our students with the technology to enhance their education and the skills necessary in the world of work. Hundreds of students have already benefited from our resources, and countless more are still to come.
It's exciting to see PJC leading the way once again for future teachers as well as high school students. One more exciting event coming up that we want to tell you about at PJC is the Big Break Golf Classic, and that is March 19th. And here to tell us about it is our own Marty Stanovich. Now, Marty, how does somebody get to play, and what is this about? And tell us all about it.
Well, it's about students ultimately, and what it's mostly about is raising money for the Universal Scholarship Fund, which is it's a fund that we make sure that sometimes there are students that, for lack of a better explanation, they slip through the cracks, and they may have special needs, special circumstances. Maybe they have a short-term need, but not necessarily a long-term need. And it's a fund that gives PJC a lot of flexibility to help those students. So we put on a golf tournament for them annually. It's called the Big Break Classic. A lot of people have maybe seen the Big Break on the Golf Channel, and it's a fun event. We integrate contests like chipping contests, chipping over a wall, long chip, long putt, driving contests, and what have you, into the golf tournament. So what we're actually end up doing is having 2 contests in one, and we give 2 sets of prizes. We have a 4-player, what is called a shamble, where you actually tee off, choose the best drive, and then everybody plays in from there. So it's sort of a combination of a tournament for high handicappers, don't feel like they have to play their own ball the whole day, and then the low handicappers, you know, they get to be a real benefit to their team. So it's a fun event. It's going to be at Tiger Point Friday, March 19th of 2010. And it's a $100 registration fee. The registration will begin at 11 a.m. Shotgun start at 12:30 p.m. And it's a blast. And our players look forward to it every year. But of course, the thing we always have to remember, not only do we have a great tournament, we have great prizes.
Yes, indeed. There are some wonderful prizes given away.
There are.
Tell us about those.
Well, we have, thanks to one of our local physicians, we have an opportunity to get a pair of tickets to the Masters every year. So we'll have a set of 2010 Masters tickets. So you win those on March 19th. And by the way, those are given away at a drawing of the participants. They're not based on ability level. So it doesn't automatically mean the lowest handicapper or the best team wins the tickets. But we'll have over $5,000 in prizes. Our good friend Sandy Sansing sponsors a car for the hole-in-one. And it's just a great fun day, and it gives you a couple of great opportunities to not just support PJC and the Universal Scholarship Fund, to come play in a fun golf tournament with a bunch of great folks.
And we can't say enough good about our committee and all the good work they've done. They're volunteers.
They're amazing.
Dr. Greg Woodfin has been our chair for a number of years and actually founded this golf tournament. And each year we depend on this to help students. And so I think that the course is going to be a great course at Tiger Point.
Right, final side of the Pensacola Open. It's a very challenging course. So but it also, the neat thing about the course is it's going to give us an opportunity to have some really neat, fun contests out there. And we're going to give you some golf balls in your ditty bag because you may lose a couple in the contest.
And for those who have teams and players, there's food. Not only
wonderful
prizes,
food.
but wonderful food after the fact. And everyone just has a really good time getting together and doing something great for our community, good for the students.
Indeed.
And a great day out. And so how do they go about making this happen and registering?
Well, you can call the foundation, which of course is 484-1560. I don't need to tell you that number. You can email the foundation at foundation@pjc.edu, or you can go to the website, which is pjc.edu/foundation. And the information, or you can just go into your favorite search engine and put in Pensacola Junior College Foundation Big Break, any of that combination, and it'll get you to the info. But we would love to have you. It's a great event. I'm looking forward to it. All of the players and the committee, I want to give my compliments to your staff and the committee. They do an amazing job, and it's truly a fun, special, and unique golf tournament.
Well, thank you so much, Marty, and thank you for all that you do to help us out. And I know that you are working very hard for the community and behind the scenes. And so next month is WSRE's Pledge Drive. But be sure to tune in back to PJC Today in April, when we'll continue to explore the many programs and people that make PJC so unique.